So here it is, our review of the Navitel R6 Quad HD dashcam. So, Navitel were kind enough to send us this R6 Quad HD dashcam for review. Let's run through the full unboxing experience, showing you everything you get when you buy an R6. A good quality box showing you pictures on one side and product features on the other. Top of the box showing the picture of the camera itself. On the side here, the main features. It's Quad HD 1440p with a 2-inch display taking 12 megapixel pictures at a 170-degree angle field of view. The other side of the box showing other pictures of the camera. On the back, as usual, package contents in varying languages. I've already removed the cellophane, so let's open the box and show you what's inside. The first thing that greets us is this glass polishing cloth, nicely branded with the Navitel logo. First out of the box, the adhesive mounting plate for the camera. Looking at this, you can see the connections for the camera and the connections for the power feed as well. So the connections go to the mounting plate rather than the camera itself. Next out of the box, a bit tighter, the actual R6 itself. We'll leave this in the bag for now and unbox it properly in a moment. Under this section here, we have our cables. Oh, an additional mounting plate for the camera. That'll be useful, especially if you need to transfer it between cars. This is the computer connection cable, so USB-A to mini USB, allows you to connect the camera directly to your computer. Here we have the power cable for running the camera in your car, and at the bottom here we have our documentation. And they've also thrown in, stuck to the bottom here, an additional mounting pad as well. Documentation consisting of the usual warranty card and user manual. Right, let's get the R6 out of its bag. The camera itself is quite modern looking and very compact, so it could easily be hidden behind the driver's rearview mirror. The buttons on the left side of the unit have a positive action and are clearly labelled. Let's remove that protective film and show you the all-important camera lens. The camera records in 2560 by 1440, which is Quad HD, with a 170-degree field of view. On the right side of the unit we have the power button and the micro SD card slot. Also down this side is the serial number. On the top of the unit we have the connection to the camera mount and also the lock. This is a sliding mechanism that slides a pin into the camera mount to stop the camera from becoming dislodged when you hit any potholes, as you will do here in the UK. Now let's remove that protective film from the screen and show you the all-important display. This is a 2-inch TN display, 960 by 240 resolution, but it is not touchscreen. On the left side of the camera are the buttons: menu, up, down, and OK. On the right side, the mini USB port for connection to your computer and the recessed reset button. Taking a look at the camera mount, it has 3M adhesive. In fact, they even give you a spare sticky pad. Personally, I prefer suction mounts because sticky pads do tend to leave a nasty mess on your windscreen when you peel them off, but that's just personal preference. On the other side here we have the actual mount for the camera and the connections, and these pins slide into the slots on the camera. On the top of the unit, the mini USB port for plugging in the charger. The actual mount for the camera itself has, well, let's say 2 degrees of movement it moves forwards and backwards. There isn't an awful lot of side to side, so there's not much left to right adjustment for your camera. You can actually remove the camera mount from the sticky pad. You slide it out like this, and you can actually see there's the, in essence, tongue and groove mechanism for holding it together. Refitting is just the reverse of removal. Slide it back in and it clicks into place. I was disappointed to note that these pins are really for power to the camera here. This is not a GPS mount, it's literally just a camera mount. Installation is easy enough though, just slide it into the camera. To prevent the camera from sliding out, this locking mechanism we looked at earlier is activated when you slide this tab into position. The camera is now held securely by the mount. To remove, simply slide the pin back the other way. You can then just slide the camera off the mount. Now that the camera's on the mount, I'll show you what I mean about that tilt action. There's not much left or right, so do make sure you mount it straight. Overall, quite a nice little compact camera, just a shame it's missing out on those GPS features. Included in the box is this USB to mini USB cable for connecting the camera to your computer. Let's take the power supply out of the bag and have a look at this. This is similar to the one for the RC2 Dual, but this one's rated at 5V 1.5 amps, so even beefier. The same spring-mounted pins, but still the LED on the back, no USB port. Other end of the cable has a mini USB connection for connection to the camera mount, which goes in like this. This end you then plug into your cigarette lighter, as usual. Such a shame. I still want that USB port. Come on, Navitel. Also in the box, the usual documentation, the warranty card allowing you to fill out your details here, and it's available in several languages, and the user manual explaining all of the features we've just been looking at, and again specifications and everything in multiple languages right the way through the manual. So in the box you get the R6, the power lead, the camera mount, the slide for the mount, an extra sticky pad, the USB cable for the computer, and the documentation. Once installed in the car, the regular Navitel green logo on the back of the charger. Once installed in the car, you can see compared to my existing Nextbase 522, the Navitel R6 is substantially narrower, so you could in fact hide it behind your rearview mirror if you needed to. To save a video clip, you actually press the down button rather than the button marked record. The twisted pneumatic display on the R6 is quite bright, but compared to the Navitel 522, the colours do seem a bit muted. The 4-element lens and the wide viewing angle are great features, though I would have liked to have seen a polarizing filter as well. Let's get the R6 out on the road and do a comparison to the 522. Let's see how they compare together, and we'll show you both video clips from both cameras so you can judge for yourself which you think is better. They are comparable, they are both 1440p cameras, so let's see what happens. Here's that challenging stretch of road that you saw in my last review. Bright sunshine, contrast from the shadows from the trees. Always challenging for cameras this. Let's see how they do. Let's do a comparison to the R6 and see how it holds up to the 522. The R6 doesn't do too badly here, but let's not forget we're comparing it to a 6-element lens on the 522 that also has a polarizing filter. The colours on the Nextbase are stronger, they're a little muted on the R6, and the shadows are actually slightly deeper and the highlights less blown out on the 522. The R6 doing well though, it is half the price. If you look in the trees on the right hand side of this shot, you can see the sunshine looks more like sunshine on the Nextbase than it does on the Navitel. Colours are much cooler on the Navitel, and as we come out of the shadows and the sunlight blasts straight into the lens, you can see there is actually more detail in the Nextbase image than there is in the Navitel. It looks like the R6 is actually exposed for the sky rather than the road, That might account for why there's such a difference between the two cameras. Here's a nice quiet stretch of the M50. Let's see what the difference between the two microphones is. So we'll do the comparison between my voice on the Nextbase 522, my existing camera, and then we'll switch over to the Navitel R6 and see what my voice sounds like on that camera. Hopefully there's not much difference between the two. Clearly the microphone on the Nextbase 522 is superior to that of the Navitel R6. Much deeper, much clearer, you can hear everything that was being said. It was a bit hard to hear on the R6. Let's try another number plate challenge. How about that Peugeot in the middle lane? Let's see how both cameras compare. They're both the same resolution, so let's see what it looks like. Sometimes you forget, wide-angle lens means not great resolution at distance. Neither camera can read it. Let's try something a little easier. How about that speed sign? Brighter on the 522, but both readable. In conclusion then, the Navitel R6 Quad HD resolution, and the image quality is comparable, although a little duller and a little more muted than a 522. The R6 is currently on Amazon for $99.99, so £20 more than the RC2 Dual. Not sure the extra £20 is worth the difference. You do get a higher resolution screen, which is nice, and let's face it, the extra resolution from 1440p makes a noticeable difference over a 1080p camera, so that is a benefit. The buttons, again, nice and easy to read, which they weren't on the RC2 Dual. So I think the extra £20 went into the resolution of the camera, and that's what you're paying for. Would have been nice for the extra GPS functionality though. I think that could have been added as well, realistically. So, if you're in the market for a mid-range 1440p camera, the R6 is worth your consideration. But in this price bracket, competition is strong, and the R6 isn't the only contender. And now for your chance to win this very camera. If you're not already following us on social media, you should be, because that's where we announce our competition winners. All you have to do is tell us why you want to win this camera. Comment below. Winner will be drawn at random in a few weeks. Good luck!